Today's video is for you if you have left a toxic relationship or narcissistic relationship and you feel guilty that you left. Not only do you feel guilty that you left, but you feel guilty that you have not given enough warning. Maybe you should have given it another chance. Maybe you feel cold that you just cut things off. You feel like it was abruptly, and you feel guilty about that. If that's the case, this video is for you. I've received some messages and some emails regarding this particular topic. Related to a previous video that I did, and I will link it in the description box below if you have not seen that already. But stick around. Let's get a little bit further into this topic. If you still feel like you are struggling with guilt about leaving a relationship that you have considered to be toxic or narcissistic. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nailah Abdullah. I'm a mental health therapist turned toxic relationship coach. And after overcoming my own personal experiences with toxic romantic and family relationships, I'm now on a mission to help women like you heal, rebuild yourself after toxic or narcissistic relationships, and most importantly, positioning yourself to where you will never fall back into a toxic relationship again. So if that sounds like what you need, subscribe to this channel and let's go ahead and get into this topic. So one of the reasons that I realize women feel guilty about leaving a relationship even though they consider it to be toxic, especially when they feel like it was without warning, it's usually because you feel like you're being rude. You feel like you're going against your morals to be fair, to have proper etiquette, to do things the right way. And I fully get that. I am a big advocate for, healing to a place. Healing doesn't mean just getting over it, but it means that you're not bitter, you're not angry, you're not changing the person, the kind person that you are. So I am definitely not here to tell you that, yeah, be mean, be rough, be rude or whatever it is. However, there is a but. When you are dealing with people who are emotionally abusive, who are psychologically abusive, who are manipulative, who are in any way you feel toxic, right? Toxic means destructive to your well-being. Different rules apply. If you have a pen and paper, write it down. If you need to pause this video and type in your notes, different rules apply. For those of you who know me, you know that is one of my common statements. Different rules apply. You cannot use the same morals on these types of people. Now, when I say use the same morals, you're not getting rid of your morals. However, you cannot apply them in the same way to these types of people the way you would to other people. Why? Because they chose you because of your morals. They chose you because of your morals because they want to exploit those morals. They know that you are a kind person. They know that you are a fair person. They know that you carry yourself in a certain way. You're going to treat people in a certain way, even when they are doing you wrong. Most people, healthy people, will appreciate those characteristics about you, right? Those morals about you, those values that you have. But people who are toxic, destructive, manipulative, they love that because they want to exploit that. So again, I'm not here to tell you to change who you are, but I want you to not be naive to the fact that the same rules apply to everyone, right? If you are driving down the street and you see a lost puppy, you're going to treat that lost puppy differently than you will treat a baby snake that you see driving on the road. You're not going to pick up that baby snake in the same way because you know that baby snake is going to grow up and it might be a problem in your house, right? You're treating them different. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, a good person. You are just cognizant of the fact that these are two different creatures, right, that are going to respond to you in a different way. And that is the same thing with human beings. I know we think it's all human beings, but no, different human beings have different character traits, personality traits, and we cannot be naive and think that we have to treat all human beings in the same way, right? So the solution to that, if you're still feeling guilty that you have ended the relationship without any warning, and we're going to get into a few other reasons if that's even accurate, but I'm jumping the gun here, right? But if you feel that you have ended the relationship without any warning and you feel like it's rude and it goes against who you are, relieve yourself of that. Different rules apply. Certain types of people cannot handle the fairness, the good morals, the good values. They will exploit it, right? So in some cases, you have to make a different call. Again, if you're dealing with two different animals, two different creatures, you're going to treat them differently based on the character traits of those two different animals, those two different species. That is the same thing that you need to apply when you're dealing with human beings. We're all human, but we have different traits. And some people have some very dangerous, toxic, destructive traits, which means you have to handle them differently. The next point that I want you to consider when you feel guilty about ending a relationship with a toxic partner without warning, I think your perspective may be inaccurate. Okay? I want you to take some time to reassess that perspective that is without warning. In my personal experience, as well as experience with other women that I've worked with, most toxic relationships have been long term, right? And if it hasn't been long term as far as years, it's been enough time. It's been like, let's say, some months where you have given enough opportunities, you have pleaded enough to ask for the behaviors that have been hurting you, that have been hurting the relationship, to change, right? If you're even watching this video, that means you're considering them to be toxic. We don't just wake up out of the blue and call someone toxic. That means there has been a series, a pattern of behaviors that have hurt you, that have broken you, to get you to the point to be here, to listen to this video here on YouTube, to even consider them to be toxic, right? If you're on this channel, that means you have considered them to be toxic. And again, that didn't come out of nowhere. So you want to look at your perspective. Is it really without warning? You're saying, oh, I feel bad because I didn't give them, enough warning. I just cut them off. Is it really without warning? Right? Just because maybe you did not write a letter and explain everything at the last moment to say, I'm leaving, this is it, and or you didn't have a sit down, I'm sure there has been a series of events where you have pleaded with them to change their behavior. That is enough warning, right? That's enough warning for someone who cares. Now, for someone who doesn't care, for someone who has no intentions on changing because they love the dynamics, right? You don't like the dynamics because it's hurting you, it's breaking you. But these types of people, they love dynamics of fighting and breaking and chaos, right? So they have no intentions on changing. But ask yourself, is my perspective accurate? Is it really without warning, right? We have to get over this hallmark vision of how things are supposed to end. In the real world, this is not Lifetime. For those of you who know Lifetime, I don't even know if Lifetime is still a thing. Back in the day, I used to watch Lifetime in high school, where you watch all these love stories on the Lifetime network, right? And everything kind of had a similar storyline and outcome, right? But things were very perfect, right? That does not exist in real life. Again, like I said in the previous point, different rules apply. But I want you to ask yourself, is my perspective accurate? Is it really without warning, right? Warning does not have to look in a particular way. Like I said, it doesn't have to look in this particular letter or this perfect sit-down conversation, because with these types of people, when you have been, and let me know in the comments below if what I'm saying resonates with you. I'm sure you can think of times where you have been trying to sit down with them. Either they did sit down to you, listen to you, and no real changes were made, or the changes were made, but they were temporary, and that was really what they call breadcrumbing, right? So just to give you a little something to shut you up, right? Bring you back in, reel you back in, or pacify you, right? So you have either begged for change, no real change, temporary change, or you couldn't even get really a conversation out of them. Right? So is it really without warning? I don't think so. Reassess your perspective. The next point that I want you to consider when you feel guilty about cutting off the toxic partner without warning, you may be assuming too much responsibility. Too often I see women feeling like they have to jump through hoops and jump over hurdles, or whatever the saying is, right? To make a relationship work, or to influence the outcome. There is only but so much you can do. Again, I know for sure that they have seen your tears, they have seen your sadness, they have heard your words. Whether they responded to it or not, that's a different story, right? But how much more do you think you should have done? That is a question you need to ask yourself. We have to start raising our standards. We have to realize that when someone wants you, and vice versa, right? Man to woman, woman to man. When someone wants another person, they're not going to have to beg. You don't have to beg someone to act right? Again, people say, oh, no, Nailah, not everyone's perfect. I get that. We're not talking about those normal situations. We're talking about an ongoing pattern of doing things that is hurtful and painful to another person, right? And that the person is expressing that to you, whether verbally, whether in their tears, whether in their sadness, whatever it is, and nothing is changing. How much more do you think you should do? You have to raise your standards. And when we are speaking from a woman's standpoint to a man, when a man, not a boy, when a man is serious about settling down and he realizes that you are the one, or you may be the one, you're not going to have to beg. You're not going to have to beg them to act right because they see that you will be of value to them, right? A partnership, right? Both parties have to say, okay, this person will be an asset to my life. This person is in alignment with who I am and the person that I'm going to become. They're not going to jeopardize that. You're not going to have to beg them to act right, right? There shouldn't be so much for you to have to do, right? You have to start looking at that. So again, this last point here, you want to realize, let go of the responsibility of the outcome. You did your part. You expressed your pain. Now you are focusing on yourself and rescuing yourself. Release the responsibility, hand it back over. Whether they decide to pick it up or not, that's their choice, but release it. Let it go. You did enough. There's no more you need to do. If this is a topic that you can relate to, I hope that this video was helpful for you. I want to let you know that there is an opportunity for you to get coaching with me if that is something that you're interested in. I've had my one-on-one coaching for quite some time. However, I have just recently opened my Inner Circle. That is a membership group that you can join. That is another way and also a more affordable way to get coaching with me. And this will be a small, intimate group, definitely not in the hundreds, right, of women where we can come together. I will be teaching classes. I will be there to provide coaching. I'm doing this because I realize from my own personal experience as well as others that ending a toxic or narcissistic relationship is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of aftermath that comes along with it. This is not a situation where two people just didn't work out and plan on going their separate ways, right? There's a lot of aftermath. There's a lot of confusion. There's continued manipulation. There's still a lot more pain that comes along with it. Sometimes it's hard for people to break contact. There's a lot of guilt that comes along with it. There's a lot of aftermath, right? And it is so helpful to have a space where you can come to talk to other women that are on the same journey to you, with you to heal, people who understand what you're going through, and also getting the guidance and support not only of a mental health professional, but someone who has been through it already before. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and click the link in the description box below for Nailah's Inner Circle. Up until October 20th, I am also gifting the first 10 founding members of this Inner Circle with a free coaching session, a free one-on-one coaching session, in addition to being inside of this membership group. So go ahead and click the link. Join before that promotion ends. Again, that goes up until October 20th is the last day that you can join and get that free gift of that free one-on-one coaching session. And of course, if you have any questions about the Inner Circle or about this particular topic, go ahead and put it in the comments, or if you want to be a bit more private, you can go ahead and send me an email. My email address is also listed in the description box below. Until next time.